out of 11 did not hear the main case. So that proposes a difficulty.
Therefore, we want to hear you
Yes.
in detail.
Yes, yes.
What were the circumstances?
Yes, yes. So that is what I was submitting, that I have to make some submissions in detail so that all your lordships are well informed in terms of how this judgment came to be delivered. Now, my lord, the central issue, my lord, which I think your lordships would have understood up till now, is this question of reserve seats. These so-called special seats, reserve seats in relation to women as well as non-Muslims, which are contemplated under Article 51, Sub-Article 6, Sub-Article D and E, as far as the National Assembly is concerned, and Article 106, Sub-Article 3, Sub-Article C, as far as the provincial assemblies are concerned. So it's about the allotment of these reserve seats. Now, the question before the original proceedings, when the appeal was heard, was not about all the reserve seats. They were about only a certain portion of the reserve seats, because these reserve seats are allotted in terms of proportionate representation. So depending upon how many seats you have won and secured in Parliament, in proportion to that, you get your reserve seats. So the parties which were in Parliament had got their reserve seats. But of course, there were a huge number of independents who had joined a political party called the SIC, Sunni Ittihad Council. And the question was whether in relation to the independents which had joined SIC, what happens to the reserve seats in relation to that? The proportionate relation to that. Whether there were only 3-4 possibilities. The first possibility is that those reserve seats, which was quite a chunk, over 70, goes to the SIC because independents had joined SIC and the Election Commission of Pakistan had recognized SIC as a parliamentary party. That was the first possibility. The second possibility was that these so-called leftover reserve seats, if they don't go to SIC, they are distributed among the other parties. So they get seats more than their proportionate representation. The third option was to keep them vacant, which is what one of the dissenting judges decided in the lower forum. The fourth option was, which the judgment under review came up with, as well as at least 11 of the 13 judges. 11 of the 13 judges came to the conclusion that it is PTI which is entitled to the reserve seat. Not simply 8, 11 out of 13. Only 2 of the dissenting judges, His Lordship Justice Aminuddin and His Lordship Justice Naeem, simplistically dismissed the appeal.
The review has been filed only against the majority judgment.
Yes, yes. And what is surprising, if your lordships look at the additional grounds, that in order to challenge the majority judgment, they have actually relied on the judgment of Justice Mandokhil, whereas their main ground is that PTI could never have been granted reserve seats, whereas Justice Mandokhil has held otherwise. So this was the basic question.
In whose additional
involved.
grounds this has been made?
Sir, the first review 312.
No, additional grounds have been filed by whom?
मैं बताऊंगा 2-3 ने फाइल किए, PMLN ने 1 में फाइल किए हैं, इलेक्शन कमीशन ने फाइल किए और में किसी ने नहीं फाइल की. But I'll go. So this was, in a broad sense, more on this, but this was the broad question. Reserve seats, these leftover reserve seats because of these huge number of independents, joining SIC, where do these additional reserve seats go to? These 4 categories.
Have you got
which-
the synopsis submitted by the ECP and the PMLN Council?
सर
Was there
PMLN
disclosure?
काउंसिल का मुझे कोई सिनॉप्सिस नहीं मिला, बट ECP उन्होंने एक फॉर्मुलेशंस की थी, वो मिल गई मुझे, पीपल्स पार्टी का कोई नहीं मिला. एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन कि ये क्या डिफिकल्टीज कॉज करता है, बट लेट मी मूव फॉरवर्ड. इफ आई stated the question precisely and clearly, now I'll move forward, sir. Sir, what has been submitted
I am
before?
asking this question because you have to cover their synopsis. They have not
Sir, मुझे नहीं
orally addressed the court, but they
सर
have
मुझे कोई
submitted
सिनॉप्सिस
synopsis in
नहीं,
writing.
मुझे कोई सिनॉप्सिस नहीं मिला है, मुझे सिर्फ एक ECP का फॉर्मुलेशंस मिले.
वही आर्गुमेंट है उनके क्या है? Because we
मेरे ख्याल में आई प्रिज्यूम सिकंदर, दैट इज व्हाट सिकंदर वाज सेइंग, आई डोंट नो. जी
these are your written submissions. No, these are your written arguments. Okay.
तो वो अगर वो मुझे आज दे देंगे तो मैं नेक्स्ट डेट पे उस पे सबमिशंस करता हूँ. पीपल्स पार्टी और अगर PMLN कोई सिनॉप्सिस देता है, आई विल मेक माय सबमिशन, बट लेट मी स्टार्ट एट लीस्ट. सर, in the end, if your lordships will recall, the learned counsel, who was the only counsel who argued for nearly all the 8 review petitions, and the significance is that the ECP adopted the arguments of a private counsel. This is very significant because this is one of my fundamental objections. The learned senior counsel has basically made 7 submissions before your lordships, which I will then wonder. If I may just state those for your lordship's benefit. Now, the first 3 submissions are basically about right of hearing and non-parties. His first submission was that the party which has been granted relief, which is PTI, was not a party. So how can a non-party be granted relief? Whether 187, the power under Article 187 can grant relief to a non-party, that would be a central question. 10 at least judges have decided that yes, relief can be granted to a non-party. One of the learned judges, the Honorable Chief Justice now, said that the matter is to be remanded.
On what reasons? On what reasons?
I'll explain. जरा सा मैं आपको overview दे दूं. तो पहला objection है. The second objection which has been raised, and I'll read it precisely because frankly I didn't understand this objection. The parties who had been denied as a consequence of general election a portion of reserved seats were not before the court. There is no such party जिसको रिजर्व सीट्स मिलनी चाहिए थी, who was not before the court, because all political parties are parties to the appeal. So I don't really understand, but maybe wisdom will come to me. Roman 3.
Which party was respondent? PTI was also party.
जी
नहीं, आपने कहा है जो
द
objection
पार्टीज नहीं, ये ऑब्जेक्शन ये है कि जिनको डिनाई की है वो कोर्ट के सामने नहीं थे पार्टीज, तो वो सारी पार्टीज तो थी. जिनको डिनाई की है, PMLN, PPP, JUI, MQM, वो सब कोर्ट के सामने थे, शुरू से कोर्ट के सामने. The third objection.
But PTI was not party.
No,
ये तो
this is about denial, sir. ठीक है?
ठीक है.
Third objection. The parties in favor of whom the notification of ECP was struck down were not before the court. It's not clear whether he's saying all parties were not before the court or some of the candidates were before because a lot of the candidates were before the court. And it is irrelevant because those candidates were represented by their political parties. They, from the very beginning, from the ECP, those candidates जिनको रिजर्व सीट्स मिली थी, उनको तो उनकी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने दी थी. वो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज सारी की सारी सामने थी. Number 4. These matters were not a matter of record before the honorable court. What was not a matter of record, one fails to understand. Number 5. Now this is a substantial objection. The timelines provided by the majority judgment were beyond the Constitution. This is a point also made by His Lordship Justice Mandokhel in his dissent. That is where he dissents. Partly, even on that he partly dissents. Roman 6. It was on the basis of these submissions, Article 225, Article 175, Sub-Article 5, and Article 1B, Roman 2 were not even referred in the majority judgment. So passing a judgment which moves away from any of these constitutional provisions and allocates these lists on the basis of doctrine or fidelity which doesn't have mooring either in the Constitution or jurisprudence of this court were not warranted. A new point was raised on which Your Lordship Justice Mazhar questioned that the petition before the Peshawar High Court, it was argued, was not maintainable because of the bar under Article 225. An objection which has never been raised before the Peshawar High Court.
This objection was raised yesterday by Mr. Makhdoom.
Yes, उनके ही objections मैं कर रहा हूँ. Now, there is a very simple answer to it which I'll give, but let me just state that this is an objection which is for the first time being raised. As far as the objection that it is violative of Article 175 Sub-Article 2, that is a point which His Lordship Justice Aminuddin in his judgment has relied upon, and that is where I think it is taken from. Then the 7th objection which has been taken for review is that Article 187 did not give this Honorable Court any jurisdiction in the matter. It allowed this Honorable Court to dispose of a list in which jurisdiction was validly invoked by molding relief. Now, basically the argument here is that 185 does not create a jurisdiction. It creates a power. And that power can never be extended. Now I'm talking about this case. That power can never be exercised by granting relief to a party which is not a party to the proceedings. That is the argument which was put forward. So these are the 7 objections which have been raised regarding seeking review of this judgment.